Joplin, Missouri. I am in Texas. I am just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. St. George, Utah.
60,000 miles on this little girl, and it is having all kinds of problems.
She is not happy with us.
It shares Ford parts, I hear. That's probably the problem.
Definitely a problem.
That's the only reason it's still running.
Oh no. Yes. Now, it's not running good. The transmission, knock on wood, is doing fine. If it was a Cummins,
It'd be the other way around. Yeah. The transmission be scattered in 1,000 pieces out on the highway.
that engine be running like a song, I tell you.
At least we know what the problem was then.
Yeah.
I think I told everybody, I don't know, but I stopped in Joplin, Missouri for the same problem, basically. Of the engine's going into D-rate mode, which is like limp mode. You can go, 50 miles an hour or so? Downhill. Up, depending on the hill, 30, 25. Yeah, it's fun. So in Joplin, they replaced an alternator, which is there, nice and new. A new high pressure oil pump, which is over there with those guys. And a IPR valve. It got it going. We thought everything was good. And I made it all the way to St. George, Utah. And it's not so good.
Where we rode for 2 awesome days.
Yes, we did ride. We had fun. And the truck did fine there. We went to...
Solid 5 hours back towards home.
Yeah, we went all the way back to Moab, Utah. And when we got 30 miles or so?
Green River
Yeah.
is where it broke down.
30 miles from our exit or 20 miles from our exit, so 50 miles from Moab, it went into D-rate again. We decided then to press on, climb some of the stupidest, steepest hills that we never should have climbed. Like, I could count the rotation of the tires in minutes. We were that slow up. It was...
You could have walked up it fast.
Oh, yeah, by far. We actually had to shut the truck off midway up the stupid steep hill to get it out of D-rate mode, because you get about 10 seconds of full power to get us bumped up enough to make the hill.
Which is about a third of the power of a modern diesel pickup truck.
Right. For reference, this lovely giant engine here is 215 horse. That is like your mid-80s Chevy 350. Now, it's got way more torque. It's like, 600 foot-pounds of torque or something?
I think it's over 7, so it's rated at.
Okay, over 7. So it's got a ton of torque. But when it's in D-rate mode, you just don't get that even.
Hey, we rode, and I rode the shit out of mine.
He did.
And that clutch issue, that's just some bad luck that people had. Because I ran the absolute wheels off my machine. I beat on it hard at Moab and at St. George. Probably harder at St. George than at Moab.
In the sand even.
In the sand, yeah. I had a blast. Moab is a really, really cool place. Everybody should go check it out, view it. It's not my style of riding. We're heading to Tennessee if we get this lovely truck running.
What's going on?
So current status, we're heading back to the International Dealer in Grand Junction, Colorado for the 5th time today.
Several. We've been there several.
So far we have had at least 4 different people look at this truck, and no one seems to have a conclusive determination on what is likely the cause of our issue. We've heard everything from the IPR valve, which we've replaced, to now the body control module with a lack of communication to the ABS and ECU. The current plan is to camp out in the International Dealer's parking lot, so they kind of take us a little more seriously in the morning.
Because we're not going to say no shop name, but they're not very friendly people. Pretty much this like super awesome vacation that most people would die to go on has been one step under a trip from hell, because it's about what it's been like.
The only saving grace is we have a refrigerator with milk and Captain Crunch in the cabinet.
We're looking for applications, someone to switch us places.
Yes. So if anybody would like to switch us predicaments at this point, we were accepting applications.
Did have a really, really, really good 2 days of riding at St. George.
Shout out to the 2 Snap-on dealers here. There's Bart, what's his name? Bart
Son?
and his second franchise, was it John?
Yes.
Jonathan?
It was
You know,
John.
you know what I was thinking whenever those guys were like totally saving our ass today?
What's that?
That normally it's, it's me knowing people to save our ass. This time it was you.
I did get a nice warm fuzzy feeling today when I was able. Cody actually spotted a Snap-on truck earlier today.
Yeah, you got to tell him how you met him, because it's pretty random.
So we're sitting in the international parking lot and we're discussing changing this $200 part normally, $600 from the international dealer, which is only $480 retail. And Cody, being the mechanic and straightforward go-getter he is, says, well, I'll just change the thing and we have no troubles. And I said, well, there's a special socket you need. I have one on my tool truck, but you're gonna have to either borrow one from the tech or find an AutoZone or something. He looks out of the window and there's a Snap-on dealer pulled into the shop next
I
door.
think I just drove over the curb off the roundabout.
You did.
You totally just curbed the roundabout. That's minor. Got that on mini. So there's a Snap-on dealer, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. And lo and behold, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever talked to. And he's like, well, sure, I have an IPR socket. So he gives it to me and he transfers it, so I don't have to actually pay for it on the spot. And he says, you need anything, just give me a call. So
We called him a lot.
we called
Sam
him a lot.
instantly starts abusing that friendship he made.
Definitely started using that friendship. So fast forward about 8 hours today of other stuff, we decide that we need some way to hook onto this truck and diag it because nobody in town has it. We have the capability of loaning out a high-end scan tool through Snap-on, but he had his in Moab, where we just left. He actually services Moab. Had we known that, we probably would have stayed there. But he had this little gem, probably can't see it because it's dark, but it's a Bluetooth link to your phone for heavy-duty trucks. And we were eating dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings. They don't know it as B-dubs out here. And he says, well, I'll just come right to you. So we pay the bill of B-dubs, and I walk out there, and he hands it to me. He says, hang on a minute. My second franchise used to be a diesel mechanic. Let me call him. So he calls him to get the part number for that specific tool. And he's like, well, I'm 2 minutes away. Hang on, I'll be right there.
It was definitely a Cody 2 minutes.
It was a Cody Willenberg 2 minutes, because about 15 minutes later, he comes in rolling hot, and me just rolling in hot to the B-dubs parking lot. And he's like, well, let me check this thing out for you. So he spends about 20 minutes poking around on it. I take him for a drive, and he says, well, let me call my buddy. So he calls his buddy over, who is a diesel mechanic still, and he brings his laptop and his stuff over, and he plugs into it, and he's there for probably an hour and a half.
After hours.
After hours,
Street clothes.
in street clothes, and we're all cutting up, having a good time. All three of these guys are there with their sales developer, a guy from corporate. We just hung out as buddies for about an hour and a half, and he diagged some stuff that he had no way of repairing, basically what sent us back to the international dealer. Here we are pulling into the international dealership to start our camp out for the day.
We are preparing to be obnoxious.
Luckily, that is one of my strong suits.
We could accidentally dump the black tank here in the parking lot.
We might do that after we use up our bargaining chips. So that might be a card to hold on to for when we pull out of here pissed off.
I don't think it's individually the people that work here as much as it is a very, very big multi-line corporate nonsense dealership. And I think they play by the rules pretty hard, and they don't really care if you are traveling or if you are a truck driver or if you are just a local needing your car fixed. And they fix things in the order they came in. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And that's just how they do things.
So basically, it's not like CW Motorsports, where if you come in
as a traveler
Thursday night on your way to a ride that weekend, and all the guys at the shop bust their butts to get everything back together for you.
we're here to camp.
Sam's on his phone, and the hood's up on the International again.
What's up, guys? So here we are, beautiful sunny day in the desert, where you'd expect it to be warm. However, it's a balmy 38 degrees, feels like, probably closer to 45. But we have our handy dandy cameraman slash diesel mechanic here, and we convinced the International dealership, well, Cody did, to give us the bad part, the suspected bad part, for us to replace it on our own. So we've chosen a very nice, convenient service center outside of the Target, across the street from O'Reilly's, where we've obviously got a few supplies here. And we're gonna replace. We stole CW Motorsports high performance shop scooter to allow us to have a means of transportation such should an event like this arise. And after we got the pump off, we sent Cody himself on a rescue mission to get the part from International. It's about 2-3 miles away.
Yeah, because International would not give us the new pump without the old pump off of the truck and in their hands.
And they made it explicitly clear that we were not allowed to make this repair anywhere near their facility. We've made a very small mess, but
It's honestly not that bad.
But I believe they expected us to make a much larger mess. We will clean up after ourselves. We've gotten oil on the oil-based pavement here, so we'll make sure to clean the oil.
We're
off the
technically
oil.
resurfacing it for them.
I mean, we could charge them for this service.
Yeah.
That is something that we could do, but since we're humanitarians and environmentalists, we're not going to do that.
I mean, driving our fuel-efficient home on wheels,
It's much more fuel efficient than any other house.
it is. My house gets terrible fuel mileage.
Right. Mine as well.
It doesn't go anywhere, and it just keeps burning fossil fuels and everything else.
That's right. It just all depends on what comes down finishing up this oil pump job. Hopefully that takes care of our issue.
Our real hope is... Oh, wait! I see a man on a trusty steed.
He did have to bundle up a little bit.
It's cold.
It's even colder on a hog like that, running high rates of speed. Oh,
Well, you got it, though, right?
I got it. Patented key opening device.
And that's the devil. Hopefully that fixes us up and we are done. We're mobile again.
Just cruising.
We're getting ready to climb big mountains. I think you guys can see them. It's up there. It's snow. So, no snow. We're making a run for it to try and get over the mountains.
What those guys say? What kind of tires they have? Drag tires or something?
Yeah,
like
they
that?
call them drag tires or something like that. They aren't. We're in a tunnel. We've made it up the highest part. Now we just got to get down without burning the brakes up and dying in a fiery crash at the bottom of the mountain.
That'd be ideal.
Ain't no problem.
Wait, there's daylight. we'll get fresh air again, not used up exhaust air.